Hey! Hey! Hey!
Welcome to another edition of the Roundtable, where socio-political issues meet bold conversations. Today, we're turning our attention to the Galamsey menace. Let me give you a couple of statistics that would make you appreciate the situation better. According to experts, about 4.5 million hectares of Ghana's forest cover is being destroyed by illegal mining. Some rivers, like the River Birim and River Pra, are also getting toxic. And so, some health experts are also saying that the rise in deformities in babies and the steep rise in kidney failures and other attendant health issues as a result of the contamination of water supply. Also, water and sanitation experts are also saying by 2030, Ghana will start importing water. These are very gloomy statistics for the fate of our country, and that is why the Galamsey menace is a very topical issue we must address and look at the way forward. But in response to that, a cross section of Ghanaian youth plus certain socio-political organizations have recently organized protests, and they, according to human rights watchers and other observers, they believe that the rights and freedoms of these protesters have been infringed upon by the Ghana Police Service. Is it a case that Ghanaian youth are using protests as an opportunity for them to cause a breakdown of law and order, or genuinely the state is stifling the voices of the youth? We'll get into all that when we come back from the break. This is the Roundtable. Welcome back to Ghana's biggest youth-centered political and governance podcast, The Roundtable. What do you think would be one of the greatest challenges in fighting the Galamsey menace?
Okay, thank you so much for this opportunity. I think one of the biggest threats
Okay.
to the fight against this problem is finding ways of giving these people involved in the Galamsey an alternative livelihood solution.
Okay.
This is something more or less like they feel illegal mining is the way out for them. They wake up in the morning, then they tell their families they are going to work, and the work they tell their families they are going to do is to enter into our forest reserves and then start digging, because for there they will get gold to sell in order to make some cool cash for themselves, to take care of themselves and their families. And so if we really want to fight this, if there's a commitment to fight this, then the fighters must make sure that they put in place alternative livelihood programs.
But Gabi, are you saying that if truly there is no alternative source of income for these Galamseyers, quote unquote, we should give them the leeway to continue?
No, I'm not saying that.
So what are you saying?
I am saying that if we want this particular problem to
truly
stop, then we need to equip the Galamseyers with alternative livelihood skills. You
For
understand?
them to generate
Yes,
income for themselves
Of
beyond
course,
Galamsey.
of course, because you can't just tell them to stop. If I stop, how am I going to fend for myself? How am I going to take off my family? How am I going to take off my children? So if you want me to stop, then provide me with something that would bring me money other than illegal mining. So that as you are telling me to stop illegal mining, I have something doing which is going to prevent me from going back to illegal mining. Until that is done, this problem, we'll talk about it, but there wouldn't really be any
I've
solution to
noticed
it.
in your submission you are not placing the blame at the doorstep of the people that have been entrusted with the power to truly fight Galamsey. And these people you are mentioning, if you take a casual look at what the situation is, these people come across as just puppets within the whole framework. I think there are certain individuals who are really championing this illegal mining thing. And I don't see you calling them out. I don't see you placing the blame at their doorstep. The unfortunate Galamsey who does not truly have any option is the one you are placing the blame at the doorstep.
I'm not blaming the unfortunate Galamsey.
Okay.
I'm not blaming the person who is going into the debt to mine for the gold.
Okay.
You understand? Like you said, it's more or less like being in your company and then employing people to work for you.
Yes.
If things go south, they don't go after the workers. They go after the employer.
Yes, please.
You understand? Yeah. So this is not like I am blaming those who are engaging the act.
Okay.
Those engaging the act cannot get up one day and then say they are going to mine for gold
Okay.
in our forest reserves. You understand?
Yeah.
Because there are so many forest reserves here in Ghana. How do they even know the right one to enter? It should be someone who hold their hands to take them there.
Someone who has acquired mining leases.
You understand?
Yeah.
Some of them don't even have these mining licenses.
Yeah.
But they are mining. They are there. Okay. I watched a video recently where one man was talking about he never going to stop Galamsey because
Yeah, I saw that video.
yes, because his money has gone into it. Yeah. And if they want him to stop, they have to recuperate or pay back the money that he has put into the business. So imagine someone like this. How are you going to convince someone like this to stop illegal mining?
So,
and are we saying that the police has not heard these statements? Are we saying that the Minerals Commission has not heard these statements?
So we should be bystanders until they find alternative.
No, I'm not saying they should be bystanders. What I am saying is, if we want this problem to stop, we need to provide these.
There must be a plan B for these people.
So that they will leave our forest reserves and our water bodies alone. Okay. Because if you tell them to stop, let's say you arrest them, you burn their machines and all that, they will still find a way to get these machines and go back to our forest reserves. But if you are taking them out there and giving them certain skills which would bring money into their pockets, then they have a reason not to go back to destroying our water bodies and our forest. Okay. You understand?
Perfectly. So let me come to someone who speaks for the NDC, one of the leading parties in this country. So our good friend here, Daniel, is saying that the challenge primarily lies with the fact that people have an entrusted responsibility are failing to undertake those responsibilities to fight the menace. Chairman Gabi is also saying that the absence of a clear framework to support people who are trying to get out of the Galamsey business is also one of the contributing factors. You are a communicator, spokesperson for one of the leading parties in this country. What is the challenge with fighting the Galamsey menace?
Okay. So thank you. In a way, I agree with both sides.
Okay.
I agree with both sides as to what he has said. But then, you see, the issue of Galamsey has particularly worsened in this party's era.
Okay.
Yes, I think there was this statistics about how close to 1,000 licenses has been released by this government alone. So the onus of solving this Galamsey issue lies on the government, lies on the current government. And I remember back in the day, we had the current president, His Excellency Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, saying that he was going to put his presidency on the line to fight this Galamsey menace. Here we are. It's just that this political party is reluctant in solving this issue. And it's also because they have their own people. I believe it's more of the people at the top are more of the ones engaging in this Galamsey issue. I remember, you see, I live in Chifopraso.
Okay.
The central region. Okay. Yes, that was where I was born, had my primary and junior high school education. During vacations, I go back to Chifopraso. And then during the last vacation I went home, I met this junior of mine. I asked him, now you're done with SHS, what are you doing? He said, oh, Nasisia Galana na me and Kakaka. You see, this is a young boy. How I don't know where he's going to get money to buy an excavator.
So it comes across that you then disagree with Chairman Gabi to an extent.
Yes.
That the focus should be on the people who are engendering the Galamsey menace rather than the puppets, so to speak.
So in a report released by an investigation by Manas Hazri Awini and then Erastus Asaridonko, Akwata mining by Chairman Untumi, they are in the forest reserve mining, destroying our forest reserves. Nothing is being done about it. That the government just does not want to do anything. If the government decides to put a stop to illegal mining, decides to enact an act of parliament to stop it, deploy the police and military to deal with the perpetrators of the crime. Whoever has a company, the veil of incorporation should be pierced, and whoever has a company, a limited liability company that's engaged in Galamsey should be dealt with according to the law. Sometimes I believe that the law is made to serve as a deterrent to others.
Yeah.
If they see that their colleagues who are into Galamsey are being dealt by the heavy hand of the law, I tell you, this thing will be brought to a halt. It will end immediately. So if the government is serious about it, if the government is indeed serious about solving Galamsey, so they have done it a long time ago. But this government is all about PR. PR. I am going to put my presidency on the line. One village, one dam. One constituency, one million. It's all about PR. It's all about slogans. But then we don't rule over a nation with slogans and PR. We don't do that. The Americans, this is an American election and other countries. You hear them do one this, one that, one this, one that. It's not PR and slogans. We do not rule over a country with PR and slogans. It's about good strategies, good policies, and implementing those good policies. So if the government is really serious about doing this, I believe Galamsey would have been solved a long time ago. But then here we are. You voted for an unserious government, an incompetent one.
You can see clearly that Behema Wakope is on fire currently. He's cooking. No, but okay. So I hear you speak about the legal framework. Do you think that largely falls down to an absence of a robust legal framework to fight Galamsey, or it is the enforcement of that legal framework that is lacking?
Well, I believe the enforcement is lacking to a very large extent. The enforcement of our laws is lacking to a very large extent. Yes, you are usually very quick to enact new laws, but then the enforcement usually is a problem.
Because we've had Operation Halt, we've had Operation Vanguard, so we've seen that if there is a clear and decisive action to fight Galamsey, it is possible that because we could see that during the early stages of those campaigns, we saw that there were very positive effects of those campaigns. Some excavators were seized, some mining concessions were shut down, etc. But it got to a point where then, when certain reports came out, it became clear that certain police officers are providing cover for Galamsey. Certain politically exposed individuals are making calls that release excavators because this is for me. You get it. So truly, I also believe that to an extent, Ghana has the best laws, but it has always faced challenges when it comes to rectifying certain situations because we have a challenge with enforcing those laws.
And then, like I said earlier, there is a challenge in enforcing those laws because the big people are the ones perpetuating those crimes.
Yeah.
The big people are the ones perpetuating those crimes. Who is going to arrest Chairman to me? Party here, Sika. Like they say, party here, Sika. So are you going to arrest Chairman to me? Who is going to provide you the funds for your campaign?
Okay. Chairman Gabi, I want to just get your thoughts, pick your brains on what he said. Do you agree with him?
Okay. So he has spoken at length.
Yeah.
I agree with him with the fact that the problem you are talking about is being spearheaded by party headworks and all that. But you see, it's not as if what you are talking about, we are taking those big men out of it.
Okay.
You understand? If you have a child,
okay.
Or if there are two children.
Bumibel.
But I am just trying to create an analogy.
Okay.
For you to understand what I'm talking about.
Okay.
If there are two children,
okay,
and one of the child is your child's friend, and that particular friend is a bad influence on your son, do you advise your child's friend to stay away from your child, or you advise your child to stay away from his or her friend?
Me personally, I advise my child.
Exactly. So that's what I'm talking about. You understand? I am still for the motion that alternative livelihood skills must be given the people. If they get
do you
that
say to people who
engage in the act, the people are contracted.
In a rebuttal to what you just stated, your assertion, what do you say to people who believe that it is these politically exposed individuals, it is people that create an environment for the Galamseyers to thrive?
Yes.
Because they don't have excavators. They don't have the financial wherewithal to be able to start mining in concessions. They don't even have the level of security that is needed to be able to do that level of illegal mining.
But have we asked ourselves whether...
And if you don't give these people the factors, they can't, regardless of their personal desire and motivation to do illegal mining. If they don't have it, they won't. So why don't we look at the people who are creating that enabling environment, the enablers of Galamsey? Why don't we tackle them rather than putting the blame, so to speak, at the doorstep of them? Because you see, if the enablers of illegal mining do not create an enabling environment, these people will be forced to look for other alternative sources of livelihood. That's the truth. Because man is engineered to find ways to survive, adapt to survive. So if people are not out there giving excavators, if people are not out there accessing illegal mining licenses if people are not out there providing security cover for illegal mining. And I noticed that then there is truly not a future in illegal mining. I would be forced to find what? An alternative source of livelihood. But the enablers are the ones contributing to the positive environment. And then people feel like, then I can thrive. There are excavators. There's champagne, which has been banned, was banned under the Operation Vanguard. There's security.
Yes, guarding you,
militiamen guarding me. Security personnel. People who are supposed to even arrest me are the ones providing me cover.
So when this whole conversation of Galamsey and its accompanying problem started,
okay,
how many Galamseyers have been arrested?
A couple have been arrested, and under which of the schemes? Because Operation Vanguard, there were arrests that were made. Operation Out. I don't have specific.
What's happening?
That brings us to the same point that we are making.
You understand
that the enforcement agencies are the ones. The enforcement agencies are supposed to make the arrest.
See,
or even release people.
Moses.
And they are the enablers. They are the ones not doing their jobs.
Moses,
so
I understand you
perfectly. It's
perfectly.
a driving environment for these people.
Each and every one of them has a role to play. You understand?
Yes.
And I can't speak for all of them.
But I just want you to accept that the greater responsibilities on the part of
I'm not disagreeing with what you are saying.
The greater responsibilities are part of the enablers.
I'm not disagreeing with what you are saying. Okay. What I am saying is, if these people are empowered, if these people are giving skills, if these people are giving at least soft skills, alternative. I'm still with that alternative livelihood.
I'm not against the alternative.
No, I'm not saying you're against it.
Okay.
If they are giving that, if they are giving that, Charlie, they'll be well off.
If they are giving that, and enablers are still creating an enabling environment, and they can make easy money.
The problem is,
let us eradicate
these people,
the conditions that will make Galamsey thrive. That's the first thing I think we need to do.
And what is it?
Funding.
Yes.
Mining leases, because when you go to certain concessions and genuinely on paper they have mining leases.
Yes.
On paper they have mining leases.
So
recently at the media forum discussion by Multimedia, the question was posed to Chairman to me about how he said yes, he has my mining license to mine in a forest reserve, and on paper yes he has it, but does it make his actions legitimate? No.
So that is where the question of ethics comes to play.
And who enables that? The enablers.
That is where the question of ethics comes to play.
You see, what he's saying is that we should deal with the problem from the root.
The root.
See, if I can't say the said, when you know, you two are saying so.
Thank you.
The tree that will hurt you in the eye. You uproot it. You don't divide it into half.
So who
you
is the
uproot
tree?
it.
Who is the tree? Who is the tree?
The tree now is like Galamsey,
for me,
and then the root is the people at the top. So when you uproot them, when you stop the enablers, the whole issue will come to a halt.
Because for me, when people talk about the Galamseyers and they are bashing them, and I keep saying it, that is a very, very unfair commentary. Because you see, if you eradicate those conditions, those people will be forced to fight. We don't adapt to survive.
Okay.
People adapt to survive.
So what you are saying is we should take away the conditions.
Yes.
And these people will survive.
Yes, they will adapt.
Yes, that is true. But how are they going to survive? No, it's not about finding a way out.
In the absence of Galamsey, before Galamsey became, because we can't say that it was fully blown at the infancy stage, Galamsey. Definitely, it started small. In the absence of that Galamsey, how were people surviving? People were finding you see, humans are wired to always find the easy route. I am doing something illegal. The security agencies that have to arrest me are the ones providing me with security. If I find a nugget of gold, the monetary rewards and gains I'm going to get out of that is far greater than probably starting them. If you give me capital to start my business, maybe I have to make that twice of that, maybe in 1 month or 2 months. You get it? Imagine those things don't exist. I'll be content with starting my business and focusing on doing that. I'll be content with probably going into farming and now the places who farm, I don't know how almost say
I like the fact that you made that statement. What I am saying is, there are some people who go to these sites without any kind of authorization. They go there just to wash the soil to get some.
Is it legal?
It's not legal. You understand? It's not legal. And these people are not even provided with security. You understand? They go there on their own accord to go there and then wash the sand.
Because
with the hope that they might chance upon.
Then it still means that the enforcement agents are not doing their jobs well.
Listen,
Because they have to monitor such areas to make sure that people are unable to do that.
What I am saying,
if they are not doing that,
do they mind? Do they mind the whole? I mean, I don't know. I don't know how the mining is done.
okay.
But do they mind the whole week from Monday to Sunday?
Okay,
No.
so
Listen,
for price, the only day they do not mine is on Wednesdays. That's because that is the sacred day for the Power River. Yeah, so that's the only day they do not mine on Wednesdays. And then they mine where you can see them close to the Power Bridge. When you cross the bridge, you're going to Chifu Secondary School. Before you get to Chifu Secondary School, you will find the police barrier. The police cross the bridge before they get to their barrier. And then you can stand on the bridge and then
literally
see them
people
on the river, doing it. Recently, this guy, the guy who draws this NL art, yes, he went there to draw, and as he was drawing, they were there. They were mining on the river. You could clearly see them with your two naked eyes.
It's
not like you need the microscope to see them.
They have. Now, it's because
there is someone protecting them.
Of course. So I always say the enablers. I'm not saying your assertion is misplaced, but you see, we don't have a lot of shots at fixing this. So if you are going to, we should look for the foolproof solution, and that is dealing with the enablers of it. And the enablers are the people who have the power. But I'm not. So we can leave it to the audience to judge the various.
Quick one. Okay. You see, there has been so many interventions at trying to prevent this problem. Operation Vanguard was one of them.
Yes.
There was season of excavators.
Yeah, there's Operation Vanguard. There was Operation Halt 1 and 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, all these were on the quest of preventing illegal mining in our water bodies and our forest reserves.
Yeah.
Is the government really interested in fighting this?
You should be answering
No, I'm coming.
Oh, yeah, it's a rhetorical question.
Yes.
Okay.
Is the government really interested in fighting this? If the government is really interested in fighting this, then I think that it's time they took the bull by the horn. And that is what they are not doing.
Look into the camera and tell the president.
That is what they are not doing.
No, look into the camera and tell the president something first.
I should look into the camera and tell the president something. So what I'm saying is, this problem is a problem.
His name. You are directing it to him. So, Mr. President.
Mr. President, I am proposing that with trying to find a solution to this problem, take the bull by its horn. You see, there are a lot of party big men and then headworks who are into this, or big wigs who are into this this particular thing we are talking about. That's Galamsey. And for it to be fought effectively, then we have to take both solutions, like their campaign.
That should be the poster.
Yes, that should be the bold solution to the problem. Because come to think of it, I have not really heard the president coming out to make a comment about this problem.
Let me blow your mind. The GGA Awards, the GGA president,
yes,
made categorical statements on Galamsey in the presence of the president. And if you look at the reaction, you can be a propagandist and say that his actions were whatever. But clearly, you could see he wasn't happy with the statement. Then, to even prove that, at least that was a very beautiful opportunity for the president to prove that yes, he's in tandem with the fight against Galamsey. He did not make one single, not even he didn't make a single comment on Galamsey. And that was even after the GGA president had called on him. So he could have even just reassured Ghanaians or retreated. And that could have even cleared out as to whether he was committed to the fight against Galamsey. So that was an audition for him. I think he drastically failed.
See, personally, I think that this government is not interested in fighting this. Okay.
As Berma has already
Yes, as he has already said.
Yeah.
You see, if you want to fight something, we must see it in your words, in your actions.
Okay.
When this whole thing started, when this whole problem started, as someone who really wanted to fight this,
okay,
should have come out to talk about it. And see, I know most of you have seen, or some of you have seen on social media, that there's going to be a demonstration from the 3rd.
Yeah, we'll come into that in the next.
Yes, I just want to make a quick statement on that. Fine. And the demonstration is going to take place here, right, in Accra. Yes. Because here actually is the seat of government. This region houses the central government.
Yeah.
And the government is not in the region. He has traveled to the northern part of the country on a tour.
But his representatives are here.
I know.
Okay.
But then everyone is calling on the government. Everyone, every single person who is talking about this problem is calling on
Do
the
you think
government.
that is misplaced? Before you even continue, do you think it's misplaced?
Which
Because
one?
I've heard school of thoughts that say that why are people calling on the government? That we
Who
are
should
the
they call on?
government.
Who should they call on?
I've heard. I'm not even defending. I'm just saying that. What do you say to those people?
Because I remember one time the president went for an interview and he was asked whether he knows the economy is going south. And he said that the presenter asked him whether he has heard that people are saying the economy is going south. And he said that everything that is happening comes to his table.
Yeah.
So reportedly, he's aware of what is going on.
Yeah.
He knows what is going on. Why is he not
And
doing
that's why I
something
keep
about
saying
it?
that DJ Awards was perfect because we didn't want a case where in the future he would say he didn't hear about. He was sitting right there. He was spoken to.